What's going on, guys? It is 8:13 a.m. I've been up for an hour and 13 minutes, pretty much. Just been chilling, watching The Walking Dead and drinking some water. Haven't had any coffee today. Gonna go all day without coffee, I think. Thought about this, and I think for the next 4 days, I'm going to try to avoid caffeine as much as possible and see how that plays out. Weighed myself this morning. I'm not in my pajamas now, so the scale will read differently because this shirt's heavier than what I sleep in, and these pants are way heavier than what I sleep in. But I weighed myself this morning and I'm the same as yesterday, so not really much of a difference after eating, except for I didn't gain and I didn't lose. Bonus. As you may have heard, unless you don't live in Canada, Trudeau's carbon tax has come into effect. Prior to, paying for, anyway. Prior to his nonsense, gasoline was priced at $1.11. Now it's up to $1.24. People said gas was only going to go up 3 to 4 cents. So what happened? Needless to say, grocery prices are going up, as well as the cost to heat this house because natural gas is going up. Freaking lovely. I don't understand how he thinks this is good, because in the end it hurts the people. And I know a lot of people who are going paycheck to paycheck, barely making it through, and now with this new tax in effect, it's going to make things harder for them, where they're just going to have to decide whether to put food on the table or thermals in their bodies. And a lot of people can't do what I do, and that's just not eat. People think that's sacrilegious. You gotta have your 72 meals a day, people. That's what they think. Oh, you're not eating? That's unhealthy. Well, it's currently 0 degrees out and they're calling for a boatload of snow today. Because, new snow to melt the old snow, as Dad always says. Personally, I'm sick and frickin' tired of snow. It's like April. Let's go with the rain and wash this nonsense away. I'm pretty sure my lawn this summer is just going to be a giant sandbox. Because looking at the snowbanks sitting on my front yard right now, holy guys. It's literally all winter sand. Like all the top layer melted off and it's just sand. So a good half of my front lawn is going to get encased in sand. So unless we get some heavy, I would say April rains, but well, let's hope for some July rains at this rate. That's going to be a pain in the arse to fix up. Not that I'm that hardcore into lawn care because they won't let us be, but just saying. Alright guys, just fired up the truck. It's time to head out. Alright, so today's day 2 of Paypocalypse. Let's see how this plays out. See if we lose any more people today. Apparently we're supposed to be getting a bunch of new hirees on Wednesday. Not up here though, mainly down yonder. So that's a thing. So let's pitter patter and have at her. Head off to work, put in our time, come home and see what we're gonna do. But like I said guys, no coffee for the next 4 days. Let's reset the cortisols, which kind of sucks, right? Because I just bought all that new coffee. And I won't be drinking any. No. Why haven't you turned off? Where the hell are my keys? Normally that porch light turns off on its own at like 7, but today was not the day it wanted to do that. It's currently snowing out. Son of a bitch. Trans Am's front end is slowly untucking. Can't wait for all that snow to melt so I can really assess the damage that the front struts took. Ooh, man, that's quite the step down. Okay, let's get off to work. I will do a drive, why not? Why not do a little drive to work? Boom shakalaka, get it into your bitches. Make sure that's turned down, make sure that's turned down. Make sure those are going. Wipe off the outside of the window. Put the inside of the window. Spray the inside of the window. Get it nice and saturated. Off your guys' view. Oh yeah, because that really cleaned it up well. If anything, I'm just spreading freaking vape juice everywhere. Pad off of this thing and take it inside and throw it through the washing machine. I think. At least now I can see if anything's coming. The bank's low enough. For the next 4 days, all I plan on drinking is the electrolyte elixir and water. I got thinking the other night, and by the other night I mean last night, because I had such a bitch falling asleep. Guys, eating that big of a meal at 7 o'clock really didn't do me any favors. I couldn't sleep to save my tits. So what I'm thinking is, going forward, when I break the fast, the first meal is not going to be that big. Because let me tell you, that was a lot of calories to ingest at one point in the day. That was 2,100 calories worth of chicken wings. Now mind you, it was probably less, because the weight of the package includes everything. The foam, the saran wrap, the bones on the chicken, like everything. And obviously I didn't eat the bones because, well, who does that? Unless you do that, then, you know, congratulations for not having any food waste. Really appreciates your efforts. But I don't do that. And I don't eat the styrofoam for obvious reasons, and the saran wrap gets pitched. See, they don't do a tear on the scale when they're weighing how much meat's going into it. So when you buy, like, you know, 330 grams of ground beef, or, you know, 200 grams of ground beef, like a half a pounder, part of that weight is the packing materials. Legally, they're allowed to do that, which is bullshit, which is why you want to get the thinnest packing material possible, which is why butcher's paper packed friggin' ground beef in here in Canada is probably the best you can buy, because you get the most bang for your buck. Because they also put those little tampon things in the bottom of the meat, which absorbs a lot of moisture, and ooh, that thing's got a tick. Which absorbs a lot of moisture, and when it absorbs a lot of moisture, it literally gets heavy. Just the laws of physics, right? So that really sucks. Yeah guys, gas is currently 121.9 from 114 on Sunday. So that's a 8 cent increase. And they're saying 4 cents. That's ridiculous. Diesel's finally cheaper than gasoline again. Gas is 121.9, diesel's 120.6. Now it pays to drive a diesel. Not really. Now a lot of these like 3.0 eco diesels found in the Dodge Rams, and I don't know how Ford's is doing, but General Motors got their Duramax, and apparently they're not that good. They're not that good for this kind of climate where it's cold and warm and cold and warm. They have issues compared to their bigger brothers. You know, my buddy had one, and he ended up getting rid of it in favor for a 5-liter FISO. He had a Dodge Ram with the eco diesel, and he just got sick and tired of being stranded because the DEF fluid needed to be refilled, or there was an issue with the DEFs. Always in the winter when we had those couple cold blasts, he was getting warnings that his DEF system was requiring service, and his truck was holding him hostage, saying you have this many miles left before I just stopped driving because Trudeau said so, i.e. carbon tax. So it's like, you don't want to be held hostage by your vehicle. Sometimes you just don't have time to get it into the shop. And the worst part is, around here, it's like for my truck to get recalls done, the shop is so busy because there's so many damn Ford pickups. Like, one just drove by. That's a Dodge. But like, there's so many Fords in this town because everybody shops there. Like, there's another Ford, and there's a Hyundai that looks like that Ford, and there's a Chevy Cruze, and okay, well, I'm getting proved wrong right now because there's a friggin' Jeep, and there's a Dodge in front of me, and that's a Nissan, and here comes a GMC. But no, like, there's a lot of Ford. There's a Ford to the left of me. It's a FX series, pretty nice looking truck. He's got a crash bar on it, or a headache rack, sorry. Hot yoga, traditional yoga, nutrition, workshops, homemade and wellness products. I should go and check that place out and see what kind of wellness homemade products they have. But anyway, what I'm getting at is, they're so backed up with maintaining everybody's junk that they just don't have time to get me in to do my recalls. Which, you know, whatever. Man, it's a shame they got rid of the Ford Fusion. I really like that car. It's such an aggressive looking family sedan. But what can I say? People don't really buy cars anymore. Everybody's buying SUVs or pickups. Probably because they get the same economy as a car, and they're more versatile and useful, which is versatile. Cars are, you know, they get you around from point A to point B, but they're not as versatile as like a pickup or an SUV. Like SUV's got more storage capacity big time, which makes them more useful in the long haul. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'm doing a workout tonight, guys. I might take it a little easier. We'll see how we feel when we get home from work. We might go a little bit easier tonight on the weightlifting. Maybe do a high intense interval training, or just relax and let the fasting do the work for the body fat burn. Did some research on visceral fat, and apparently if you're in a state of Zen, your body will burn more visceral fat, and that's what I really need to do, because visceral fat is directly linked to fat accumulation through the ingestion of carbohydrates. It's also metabolic, so if you get into a stressful situations, your visceral fat is the reason why you crave carbohydrates and sugars and sweet treats and all that other junk. So not only does it trigger a dopamine effect, but it also helps feed the fat fuels and gives you that extra jolt in the fight or flight situation, so that you can store more energy for later consumption, which a lot of humans don't later on consume because of the 6 meals a day. Just putting that out there. Oh, horn blows. Is the driver? Anyway, people, I'm almost at work, so I'm gonna end this here segment here, and we'll pick it up after we're done the day. All right, peace. Holy crap, people, it's 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock in the freaking evening. Oh man, how are you now? What a day. Busier, frig. But all day today my phone's blowing up, just blowing up, and I didn't know who the hell was calling me, so I had to look it up, and realized that it's one of the groups that I applied to for a job. And they called me to say I've made it to the first stage of interviews, to give them a call back. Problem is it's either Monday or Wednesday. So that sucks. Mind you, I'll just take the freaking day off and suck up some friggin' pay loss. Because it would be freaking nice to make what I was making before again. Now this job here pays about $5 more an hour than I'm making now, but you work about 5 hours more. Basically you get a half an hour unpaid lunch deducted from your check, so you work 37.5 hours versus 32. So in the long run, it's more bang for your bank. So more pay, more hours, happy fun time. Even at my job, if I worked 8 hours a day, it would only be 36.25 hours, because they deduct the 45-minute lunch break. We all already know that I don't eat lunch. And even when I lose all my weight to where I'm happy, I'm still only gonna eat 1 meal a freaking day, because that's all I need to eat. Just one hefty meal a day. But guys, I think I figured it out. Okay, I've been wondering this for the longest time. We got a guy at work, he's skinny as frick. The guy just, and he eats and eats and eats and eats potato chips, eats burgers and pizza and all sorts of garbage that if I ate that, all the work I put in this past year would be undone. But he can do it. And then I looked at him. And I've been doing a lot of study lately on visceral fat. See, the more visceral fat you have, the more susceptible you are to fat storage when you eat fatty foods, like carbohydrates and other things that metabolize into fat can be used for storing fat because insulin's spiking. Where if you have lower visceral fat, your body will have less of a tendency of actually storing fat during feeding time, because it won't need to. I have a lot of visceral fat. This is the reason why I store a lot of fat. He, however, does not. Visceral fat is the fat that sits between your organs, and it offers like an insulation barrier, but it can be metabolic and it can be pretty dangerous. The more you have, the more pressure there are on your organs, and problems can arise. Also, the more you have, the more your body is going to absorb fat and store it, which is why some people can go out and devour 17 cheeseburgers and not put on an inch, and then other people go out and devour 17 cheeseburgers and it looks like they just drank a keg of beer. It's the visceral fat. So I've been doing a lot of studying. You probably heard the term skinny fat, where somebody weighs like 160 pounds yet they still don't have a six-pack because visceral fat says no. I've been doing a hell of a lot of studying on how to burn visceral fat. Like, my buddy's been trying to get me to buy a stupid product. It's a shake. You mix it in with a shaker cup and just friggin' chug it, and it's supposed to help burn visceral fat. So I've been doing research on what this product is, and it's pretty much a relaxation tonic. Guess what else is a relaxation tonic? That Tulsi tea that I have, that Joss gave me. That stuff gets you nice and relaxed, gets you nice and level-headed. Your body's gonna be stress-free, and stress is one of the major problems. If you're stressed right out with exams or bills or financials or girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever the case may be, it's gonna put a toll on your body and your visceral fat intake, or basically growth. That's what happens. If you're calm, cool, collected, you're not worried about stuff, you're able to stay in a state of zen, you'll burn visceral like you will burn normal fat. Well, this shake is literally a Tulsi tea. Well, it's got more shit in it, mind you, but on premise, it's basically doing the same as a Tulsi. So basically, what I'm getting at is, if you have a lot of visceral fat, you can't eat like a pig because you're gonna pack on the pounds like I would. But if you're skinny mini and I have a big metabolism, no you don't, your body chemistry is just differently because you have less visceral, your body ain't gonna pack on the pounds like mine will. That's all it is. It's frig all to do with metabolism. My metabolism's fantastic. I eat fatty foods, I get fat because of my visceral fat. End of story. Almost home. Talk to you then. Peace. And if you're wondering, yes, you saw it correctly. Oh my God. So as you probably noticed on the drive home, it's pissing rain outside. Like big time. This is both good and bad. Good, because it's melting the snow. Bad, because melted snow exposes dog shit. Man, I got my heat and hydro bill, and what are the other two flyers? Dirty freaking pizza flyer. Buy any large traditional pizza for $15.99 and get a second large, one topping for $5. Back in the day, guys, I would slay both of these things back to bickety back, no questions asked. What's this shit? Subway. Guys, what's healthier? Subway or McDonald's? You're gonna be surprised. Let me know in the comments below. But I got the gas and hydro. Better freaking pay those one of these days. Get them all topped up and ready to go. Good old pay-apocalypse. Anyway, I'm gonna edit up my vlog for the day. See where we're at, see what we're doing, figure things out. I might have to take a dump too. I haven't had any coffee today either, guys. You proud of me? I wouldn't be. So, when I was on After Hours, guys, I had a sit-stand desk, which was pretty pimp, I'm gonna say. I think the cat just swung at me. But I had a sit-stand desk, which meant basically I stood around all the time. I didn't sit, because sitting slowly kills you. Even though when I'm at home, I'm sitting all the damn time. But for 8 hours of the day, or back then, the night, I used to stand all the time. And it was freaking fantastic. But then I got off After Hours and got the old 9 to 5, Monday to Wednesday and Friday. Thursdays, half day freaking Thursday. Anyway, one of the vacants at work was using a sit-stand desk on the other end of the room. And it's been vacant now since, God, it's been about a month. So I asked the boss today and I'm like, hey, like, is anybody gonna use that sit-stand? He said no, and I was like, can I just grab my computer and move there? And he's like, yeah, if you want it, take it. And I was like, sweet. So tomorrow or half day freaking Thursday, I'm doing exactly that. I am moving my computer. Oh, this is a fart or poop. Oh, don't trust the fart, people. I'm moving my desk, or I'm moving to that desk. But right now, there was something I was supposed to do yesterday that I didn't do yesterday that I wanted to show you. I did it, but after I did it, I was like, crap, I was supposed to film this for you guys, son of a. And that is, I want to show you how I make my tonic for cleaning out my kidneys. And for that, I need a tripod, and I left that upstairs. Anyway, I'll just, maybe if I sit you guys down here, and I'll grab my stuff and come over there. Alright guys, sorry for the piss poor angle, but I'll show you here. First thing you need is 1 tablespoon. Let me clean this thing. I don't want salt in this, I just want the sodium bicarbonate. Anyway, you need, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Just go ahead and mix that up right now. 1, 2. And then you need a half a table scoop of your sodium bicarbonate. So we've got about a half in there, and then you just add it to the mixture. She's gonna foam, she's gonna bubble, she's gonna hiss, she's gonna moan. Gonna stir that all together. Now you can totally just gut this right now as it is. The pH level's about 7, so it won't screw your teeth over. But what I like to do is I like to add some apple cider vinegar, or not apple cider vinegar, you can add water to it if you want to tone it down. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some aloe vera juice. Good old aloe vera juice. Give it a good shake, make sure it's nice and mixed up, and then just drive it in there. I'll get her up to about the 110 mil. Give it another good stir. Make sure everything's blended together because you don't want to leave anything behind. You might as well get it all in your face. And down the hatch. Just like that. Great for gut health, great for kidney cleansing. Do that once a day. The aloe vera juice is great for like your colon. So it's like a massive friggin' beneficial jobby on your entire body. And then of course the snake juice, that's gonna keep your cravings down while you're fasting. So you're not snacking every 5 freaking minutes, jacking up your insulin, adding on to your visceral fat, being large and in charge and having issues with type 2 diabetes. So that's a freaking bonus right there. Here, you can have a cookie. I'll give you some tooth campers. I'm gonna feed the cat and dog. Get a focus there, Chief. This was like the cheapest cat treats ever, and she can actually eat these because they're freaking seafood made. Like, brilliant. But yeah, that beverage I had is actually really good. If you suffer from that disease called IBS, guys, start pounding some apple cider. Start pounding some aloe vera juice because it'll probably help correct a lot of your problems. Like for instance, Dad has a B12 deficiency. And the last time he went to the doctor said he's actually doing a hell of a lot better now than he was ever since he started pounding some friggin' aloe vera juice. And his skin condition's starting to clear up too. Now, I've discovered that psoriasis, eczema, basically those dry skin diseases, they are tied into inflammation caused by sugar intake. You start limiting, like if you eat a lot of sweet things, a lot of high carbohydrate items, you will develop some weird diseases that you never had before. And you can control them by just putting down the damn fork. Fasting is also good for fixing this stuff. You know, my buddy, he had these elbows on him that looked like white scaly pieces of chalk. And when he found out what I was doing to lose weight, he bumped into me in the mall and he went, holy crap, you're like a half a person now. What the hell have you been doing? So I told him, I said, I started a ketogenic diet and then I started doing some heavy fasting. Like hardcore fasting. I said, none of this eat 1 meal a day stuff. I've been doing like hardcore, like 3 days no eating, 4 days no eating. So the longest I went was 11 days, and he was like, holy crap. And he's like, how do you feel? And I said, oh, I feel great. Like I find after I eat, I feel like garbage for a good 3 hours. But then the next day when I'm not eating, I feel better because my body has enough fuel in it to feed itself. So he started doing it, and I met up with him back in November. So he started doing keto. And he messaged me 3 weeks ago saying he did his first ever water fast. And I was like, how do you feel? And he's like, I feel great. And he goes, it's weird. And I said, what's weird? He goes, remember how bad my elbows were? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, well, a lot of that went away. It's like one time I was in the shower and I'm sitting there and I'm scrubbing my elbows. cleaning them out, and I noticed skin was falling off me, but there was no blood. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, there's skin underneath there. He's like, new skin grew underneath the dead skin, and it looks like it's healing. He's like, how long can you safely fast for? And I just told him flat out what I tell anybody. Listen to your damn body. That's all you got to do. Listen to your body. If you can only go 24 hours because your body wants something, go 24 hours. But if you're large and like, here's the other thing you got to realize. There are cravings because there are cravings, you have an addiction, and then there are cravings because your body is physically depleted of nutrition. You got to learn to differentiate between the two, and that's how you win. Like, I know when I'm at work and, you know, one of the guys today, he brought in some leftover Chinese food, and Jesus, Murphy, did that ever have an odor on it that was triggering the old hunger strike. Like, you know, Chinese food to me every Sunday was Chinese food freaking Sunday. Go hit up Chopsticks and come back with like a container of bacon fried rice and some Mugu Gai Pan and friggin' egg foo young and all this other junk, and just destroy the whole $20 meal on my own because I just love that taste, that soya sauce and fish sauce and all that deliciousness. But that's what contributed to the body I had. So you got to learn to eat because your body needs that kind versus to eat because your body just wants that taste in its face. That's where the snake juice comes in. It's going to help get rid of that taste. Another problem, the reason why people like sweets and will get sweet triggers, is because their sodium levels are low. Doesn't make sense, right? Your sodium level's low, go eat an Oreo cookie. It's not going to fix your sodium, but a lot of times your body knows that the last time you took in sodium was because you ate something sweet, and therefore you had a craving for something salty and you hooked yourself up. The wires get crossed. It's stupid. Your body should just say, hey, dummy, go eat a bag of chips. You like that kind, you get the dopamine from it, and I get the sodium I need. I'm not telling you to eat a bag of chips. I'm just saying your body needs sodium. Otherwise it can't produce electrolytes. Therefore it'll produce false cravings in order to get you to go out and do what you gotta do to get it the sodium it needs. Even though I said I probably wasn't going to work out tonight, I'm going to go work out. I'm going to do some moderate weights just to move the body around, and then hit some cardio. It's pitter patter. Alrighty, well, I put in a legendary workout. It was freaking awesome! Actually, I kind of went a little easier tonight. I only went for about a half an hour, but there's still an afterburn effect going on because I did lighter on the Bowflex and heavier on the cardio. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm cleaning up a juice bottle to use to make more juice. And to all the naysayers that said using sodium bicarbonate, aka baking soda, and vinegar on my drain wouldn't do anything. Well, she flows free now, so it did something. Should have done that last fall. Probably gonna do that this fall. Clean her right out so she doesn't freeze up next winter. But what I want to do is make some juice. I got some chocolate glaze donut. Gonna get rid of this. I like to recycle bottles for e-juice. Moving on up, or should I say down. So there's the stats, and there's what they're charging me. My delivery is higher than any other thing on this sheet. However, my bill went down to $109 since automating this house. And apparently, because I'm on equal billing for my gas, apparently I paid $100 too much this year for what I've been using. So whenever that renews, I'm gonna save me some more money. Life is good. Saving money on hydro. Well, not right now because every damn light is on down here. Holy crap. Turn off the living room. Jesus.
Okay, turning 4 lights off.
Like, why do I have all these lights on down here? I don't get it. Don't really need it. No, it's my own stupidity. That's weird. Google's not turning off the porch light or any lights running under greenie. Oh, I bet you when I had to re-add it, it reset the friggin' protocols. Son of a bitch. Anyway, I need to mix up another water. Now, to show you guys that little concoction I did for my kidneys will not break your fast. Per 1 tablespoon, 15 milliliters, 0 calories, 0 fat, 0 everything. This stuff has nothing in it. A little bit of potassium, and that's about it. Baking soda, 0 across the board except for sodium. That's about it. Aloe vera juice, 0 across the border, except for a bit of sodium. That's about it. Now I want to give you a little bit of a heads up for this kidney concoction. Do not, and I repeat, do not drink it if you have to go to work. Drink it when you're going to be sitting around doing nothing, because your bowels are going to get excited and you're going to have to take a massive dump. Remember what I said about apple cider, or the aloe vera juice? Aloe vera juice cleans you out. It hydrates your intestines, basically flushing out any bad material. That bad material's got to go somewhere. It wants to go visit the porcelain palace. If you're mixing it with water, tap water, Evian bottled water, Fiji water, I don't really care what kind of water you use. If you're mixing it with water, you'll probably be okay. You won't explode. But if you're looking to get the skin benefits of aloe vera juice and the vitamin B12, once again I repeat, do not drink it if you're planning a long drive or you have to go to work for 8 hours, because you will spend a lot of your shift on the toilet pooping. Now, I remember when I got home and I asked you guys, what's healthier for you? McDonald's or Subway? I'm going to tell you right now. Personally, I say McDonald's. You want to know why? Because Subway doesn't fill their sandwich. The filler in that shit is the bread. There are so many carbohydrates in a Subway that a lot of people who eat at Subway aren't very active. So that's just going to get processed and stored for later use, which, if you have bad eating habits and you're ingesting more calories than you're spending, is going to convert to fat and just make you bloat. Sure, there is a lot of sugar in McDonald's, but as far as portion size goes, a McDonald's Big Mac is a lot more healthier for you than a Subway. Maybe not a 6-inch, quite possibly a 6-inch. The bread is pretty big. So despite what that loser Jared says, Subway will not thin you out. Don't kid yourself. But anyway, people, on that note, I'm shutting this video down. If you want to know what the healthiest choice between McDonald's and Subway is, none. Stop that kind. Just don't. Make your own damn burgers at home. Wrap them in lettuce. Make it better. Hell, I'm gonna be making those pita freaking things. I made 60-second bread. I'm gonna make hamburger buns on a future video because I know my parents are gonna want to have me over for a barbecue, and I don't want to be pounding back those chemical buns like Dempster's and stuff. Because do you guys remember when I cleaned out my pantry and I found that loaf of bread that was festering in the back for a while? And the only thing wrong with it was it could double up as drywall because it was so damn hard? Yeah, I don't want that in my body. There's probably formaldehyde in that bread. Not good for the intestinal tracts. But that's going to come at a later date because I have a battle plan coming up. Like I said, guys, I want to hit 200 pounds before May 28th. That's the anniversary. And I got some photos to show you guys of last year on May 28th. Let's just say, I didn't realize there was that much change until I saw those photos. Jesus Murphy. No, I definitely did have swelling in the brain because my head was like a giant potato. But anyway, people, on that note, I'm going to shut this down. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, click that like button. Any questions, comments, concerns, stove them down below. And until tomorrow, guys, keep on vlogging. Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.